Welcome back to Season 3 of the podcast. Today, we will be speaking to Pelumi. She will be talking about being the Artist Liason, collaborations, managing events and productions, and much more. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at SheHH Podcast and share this video with a friend.
Okay, guys, so I am really excited because we have one of my favoritist people on the podcast today. She is amazing and she is literally what SheHH is about. So I would like you to really introduce yourself, Pelumi. Who are you? Let us know.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
I'm so happy to finally be here. It feels surreal. And now that we're here, it's like, oh, finally. Tick on the box. Hi, my name is Pelumi.
Hi, Pelumi.
And I'm a Christian. And I work in the Christian industry. I don't know. It's a start what I do. I've been in the industry for, I'd say maybe 10 years now, if anything. Yeah. Random fact. Stop it. Wow. Random fact. I met Fayechild. So Fayechild is a PK. I don't know if you want to know, but he's a PK.
I think everyone knows
that. Okay, cool. Fayechild is a PK. We met in Nigeria. I was in Nigeria when my friend shipped me to Nigeria. 2011 to 2013. And he had a concert and I met him and he came on stage and I went to meet him and I was like, I love what you do. And he was like, it sensed a bit of British accent. I was like, yeah, I'm from there too, but I'm just here for now. And that's literally how we became friends. Ever since then, I did not know that. Yeah, that's how we really, really knew each other. But I worked in PSF as well. This is the Redeem Pastors Children thing. And from there, I met a lot of artists, quite a few of them actually. I got to sing sometimes, got to do a lot of music and stuff like that. So that was really, really good. But yeah, I would say, I don't know if there's any specifics as to what I do in the industry, but at the moment, the last 2 years of moving into London, I would say I've been an artist manager. I've been a PA. I've done A&R. I've been trying to get my master's in music management. Pray for me, y'all. It's not easy. Pray for me.
We love a smart woman.
We're trying. But yeah, basically that's me in a nutshell.
Well, we've kind of been referring to you as an artist liaison because you kind of do all things artist related, music related. But you kind of listed off a few things. And I think for people that know the industry, they may know what A&R and those terms are. But what are some of the day-to-day or staple parts of what you do within the UK gospel music industry?
Okay. One of the very few things I would say is being able to help artists when it comes to events. So I'm a big concert head. I had 24 concerts for 2020.
Wow.
COVID said not
24.
24.
Wow.
I have a list of them. And some of you might even know them, especially the ones that have been cancelled, like Lord's Child, Mount Hellfish, things like that aren't happening anymore. But it was bittersweet because most of them are now taking place. I recently went to one that was supposed to happen in 2020, and it was just great to see that the artists had grown during COVID as well. So that was really interesting. Yeah. But I'll say day to day, it's really events management, as people like to call it. But I would say artist liaison because I'm more particular about the artist and how they're presenting themselves to the audience than just the events. Making sure everything sounds good and things like that. It's great. But I'm particular about the artist because I just feel like it takes a lot to come on stage and deliver. Even if it's for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it's not beans.
Yeah, because you have a vision of what you want.
And being able to uphold that and carry their dream and bring it to life is just something I've just always found very, very...
You're so passionate. I love it, honestly.
Because you imagine this is something they've thought about, they've worked and they've dreamt about, and then they're giving you the opportunity to work on it and bring it to life. And I would say a lot of concerts, headline shows, and things like that. Things are my day-to-day.
Listen, how many times have we been at events and I just turned to the side? I see me.
It's so interesting.
I was just wow.
You're hearing
it.
It's
lovely.
Literally.
It's been one time, it was twice in a week. I was
honestly.
I love it so much.
It's working, yeah.
You mentioned, you were roughly 10 years ago, it's when you started that conversation with Fayechild. And since then, you've honestly worked with so many artists, so many of my faves, God is good. And as you guys know, at SheHH, a lot of our team is based in the UK. Shout out to Hannah, who's, in the States. But a lot of the work we do is in the UK. And so it's been really nice seeing that you're involved with a lot of UK artists' careers. Tell us a bit more, like, as much detail as you would like to, but like a bit more of the journey from like starting and thinking it'd be cool to help out artists to working with different people. Name a few, you know. I can say off the top of my head, and just in the link with SheHH, is you had worked with our sis DJ Shuns for a while. So like, just go through some of like the phase and some of the process that it took to get to here.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was a thing where the Lord really, really spoke to me, because I'm a very extroverted person.
Yes, you are.
And for the most part, I grew up in a family that just encouraged anything and everything. No restrictions. But the only restriction was I have to do law. Shout out to my father. Grateful for you, because I won't be here today if not for the law. We struggled through law and we got there in the end. Thank you, Jesus. And then eventually I started noticing when it comes to like church music, because I grew up in church, when it comes to like the music side, even though I was forced to join the choir, I can only sing. And when people ask this, I can only sing because I was forced to learn.
Yeah, but that's how I would learn. That's how I learned too.
I don't know about that. So, if it was from inside, it would be nice. But it's not from inside. It's really learning how to sing. That's the only way. But I tend to like imagine the artist coming on stage. And I used to think, okay, but do they have water? Just little things like that. Like backstage, do they have tissues? Could they reach out to someone immediately? And I'll say one of my gifts God gave me is being able to give. Like, I'm very good at giving my time. What I have is like, I'm ready to literally give so that it makes whatever needs to come through happen and things like that. And when I started seeing things like that happen, just in my day-to-day life, and then I enjoy music so much. Oh my goodness. If I'm not eating, sleeping, I'm listening to music. Really and truly.
Have you tried doing your 3?
I do it all the time. Sometimes sleep, wake up, breakfast, and then music, all around together, literally. But honestly, music just, it encompasses almost everything I do. And then obviously I'm a Christian, and I knew, I was like, I had this vision of, even if it was for the world, whatever I had would definitely benefit more in the Christian industry. Yeah. So that's where it started from, literally, just little conversations like that. I was fortunate to work with a lot of artists that came to my father's church to minister and stuff. He's quite, I won't say known, but it's all right. It's there, you know.
He be doing his thing,
you know. So a lot of artists have been to our church, and I would like do things like that. I really want to cater to their needs and the hospitality and stuff like that. You know, there's so many different words for it. But when I knew hospitality, hospitality literally was what I did. But when I knew the difference I was making was, they would finish and they'd be like, wow, that was one of the best services. And I'm like, what did I do different? You know, what was it that made it so good for you? And I'm so good at this thing where I'm like, hey, tell me, what did I do well? Because I'm a words of affirmation girl. If you don't give it, I'll ask.
That's really good.
I'll ask it. Because it really helps me grow better, because I'm trying to do better than I've done today. Yeah. So how can I do that for the next time? So it just got easier. You know, when I moved into London was when I would say I started officially. During lockdown, there wasn't a lot, but I joined, shout out to Mani Ade, joined SheHH, and the blessing that came from that is meeting literally almost all the UK artists. Yeah. I think at one point when we had, Mani used to have this moments where he would do just mini, I guess, Zoom sessions with us, and we had Happy on that. Happy fans over here.
Love Happy.
Happy Flip. We love it. And we got to like see him over Zoom. We've had Ruslan, we've had Governor. Yeah. And you know, people like that, you're like, oh, wow, this is what they think, this is how they feel. And taking notes from that to see that this is what they want. Because I always ask the question from a manager's point of view, from a catering to your needs when it comes to an event, what do you want? Yeah. And seeing their answers is like, okay.
And taking it on board as well.
Taking it on board, literally. So I think from the beginning of 2021 was when it started. I got to first do solos, the first initial solos, which was last year. And because of COVID, obviously, we couldn't have people. So it was online platform streaming on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, there was like Ray,
yes,
Asha Elia. Yes, I remember seeing the visuals. The visuals of that.
Listen, it was, and I was there obviously from the start to the end. And it's just, it was just so fantastic. And seeing it come to life again, and having worked with someone like Emmanuel, shout out to Emmanuel, the owner of Solos, people like that really push women, Black women out there. We'll get into that, but my goodness.
One of the first events that I saw maybe even number of men and female artists as like the bill. Yeah. Because every time you have that one, maybe the one like script somewhere, they'll throw her in to do one song. Maybe come and do the choruses for the rappers and stuff like that. And this was the first time I remember just seeing like a balance. And it was like everyone was like headlining. It wasn't just like this is the one person.
Yeah.
Girl.
And it's encouraging because even
Yeah.
you saying this means we're doing something right.
100%.
Because it works that way behind the scene as well. So most of the time, I think one thing people don't realize is whatever you're seeing in front is probably what you're seeing behind the scene. Literally. Because the amount of artists you have at the front, and, you know, it's in the secular world as well. You get so many people why is it only Megan Thee Stallion performing here and we don't have as many artists, you know, that are female? And it's like, it's the same thing behind the scene. They have no women, if not always. She's probably getting coffee. And it sucks because it's like, she could actually benefit you guys more. We know women, we're multitaskers. Mm-hmm. We do well at, you know, owning anything we have and bringing it forth. So it's just great to be part of that industry. And I guess from working from Solus 2021 to working with Bliss, name's Bliss. Shout out to
that
him.
show.
It was such a good show.
It was such a good show.
I enjoyed so much. And the funny thing is, he reached out to me very randomly. He was like, I just want you to help. And I was like, yes. And I think it was 2 weeks before the show. We were trying to get Rubicon because of his song Rubicon Live.
Yes.
Just little things like that. And it was like, wow, this is such a good idea.
I remember that he was posting like stuff about that. And at the time, they upped the price of the Rubicon.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like, it's down to your song. It's down to your song. Nah, you guys were so good with that.
Honestly,
branding.
It's just, like I said, it's people like that, like literally reaching out to say, hey, what can you do? Would love your expertise, would love your ideas. And it's not like we're big in the industry yet, guys. We're getting there.
Amen.
But it's like the little ideas we have, people actually want to hear about it and hear from us. So yeah, name's Bliss, Still Shady, South Still Shady. And it's fantastic because these are all men in the industry that are reaching out to women like me and you that like, you know, what it's comforting. It's like, okay, our brothers actually know what it means to live like in a Christ like manner and also include us, not just push us to the side. We have an opinion, things like that. Becca's one of my favorite person ever. Honestly, I'm such a big fan girl. And she's always like,
so great.
I love you all.
No, but she's so great.
Absolutely love her. But yeah, name's Bliss, Still Shady. Being able to work with solos again as well. It's fantastic. It's such a
we'll get into it.
Beautiful opportunity.
You do so many things and you do them so well.
Oh,
and you're such a giving person. I genuinely don't know anyone that's like, you mentioned Pelumi and they're like, no, not even who's that, like,
I see what you mean.
She's a bit, you know, and I think if you're out there, you're probably the problem. Because genuinely, I think when you are a woman in this industry and you're passionate, it can sometimes come across as like, whoa, you're doing too much or too loud. And even the fact that you're extroverted, I think we've had conversations where I'm like, I love that you're extroverted because you're fun, like you're nice to be around. And I think if it doesn't come across well to the people that are receiving it, it's very easy to be blacklisted in such a small industry, especially in the UK. And I don't think that's happened or is going to happen with you because you're just so warm. So yeah, that's my question. It was just
oh man, stop
just like
it.
you a lot. We like you a lot.
Thank you so much.
So you mentioned like a few points that artists have come to you, like Bliss has come up to you and said, "Oh, can you help with this?" and stuff like that. So you know, with artists, measures of success tend to be, you know, how many Spotify numbers can I get, or how many dedicated fans, how many people can I get to my events, you know, how many albums can I put out and stuff like that. But what is a measure of success for an artist liaison? Because it's not like you're the one that's releasing, like the music doesn't say Pelumi on it, you're not doing riffs on it. Like, what is a measure of success?
I'm not really a tune.
You just listen to the song, you're like, this is good. I like it still.
Love it.
I'm a fan. But like, what is a measure of success for you and your job?
I would say it's the actual production. So and that's why at the moment, it's so funny you say this because I wanted to only focus on artist management, which is when I worked with DJ Shams for a while. And shout out to her, just killing it in the game.
She's doing
my goodness.
Well,
it feels so good. Sometimes I message, I'm like, hey, just want to, so that, you know, I know you and it's a blessing. You know, it's
someone
incredible.
was like to me, actually, I can't remember where it was. I think it was at Limo's event, Limo's concert, the Afrobeats showcase. And someone was like, right, I keep hearing about like DJ Shins, and she knew. I said, no.
New? No.
Wonderful. Yes. Yeah, very great. Yes.
Honestly.
Like, and they know we love her. We've had her on the podcast, you know.
My favorite one. She's so chill. And that's one thing I love about her. She's such a chill. Sometimes I'm like, oh, we need to my energy, like, I was bouncing out. She was just like, thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's her normally. I went with her to a performance with I think Annie was there, and what it was for, oh gosh, Hayley Melinda.
Oh yes, I remember that year.
That's when I really got to like do my job, I guess. And she's such a chill person. I'm like, this will balance well. This is the good
thing.
Balance. Yeah.
When artists, especially, because a lot of artists are quite introverted with their music because it's personal and stuff like that. And then you being the one to like be loud for them actually usually works.
That's literally what most of them say.
I love that. That's so good. I even just with the whole DJ Shins thing, I love that like recently just the break. Like it's the consistent work and then the break. Yeah. And I think that's what everyone aspires to. Like or what we try and tell like artists or tell people like just keep going consistently. Yeah. The break is coming. And you know what I mean? And just to see that with her has been amazing. And I think that was just a fangirling moment. But like for you, what has been an example of like huge or like a fulfilling or satisfying moment that you were like, this is success to me?
Oh my gosh. So it's a bit of a good news actually. I was going to tell you, I was going to wait till you actually started. I just signed a contract with HFP to do I'll be working part-time with HFP, and I have to tell her consumers as well. And it's just like, I was like, so why do you tell me this?
No, that's not
okay.
I'm literally so, I'm just
thank you so much.
I'm so happy. I love HFP. Uncle Chips is amazing.
Honestly.
And then you there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's part-time, and what I'll be doing actually, probably doing more of this because it will really help a lot of artists, especially female artists. But it's literally encouraging artists not to just sign on to the label. Most of the artists right now, they're scared of label and stuff like that, even though there's so many benefits. But anyway, there's so many, but it's just encouraging them that we can do what they need without the attachment of being a label. And it's called Verge, HFB Verge. There's so much more about it, but sign on to help out and, build a project and just, they carried me along for the ride. And that was my measure of success because when I tell you, I was like a little baby in the Lord's arm because I was like, this is what you've been preparing for. 2020, when I moved into London, it's so weird to even talk about it. I wrote down a list of people I wanted to have conversations with, work with. HFP was my number 3. Loretta Andrews is Governor B's manager. Joshua Smith as well. These are people big in the industry, basically. I had a couple of minutes. I was like, wow, let's have a conversation. Things like this. And because I started my master's in uni, I was already like inclined to like meet some of these people because we do a lot of sessions. Okay. And my master's is in music management. So
is that based in London?
Yes, it's in London. I won't say the uni because not great. But just say. But it's the full name is Music Industry Management and Artist Development. So the funny thing is, a lot of artists were actually, I think it was like 90% artists than anybody else.
Oh, okay.
Because artists want to know how to manage themselves and stuff. Yeah. The artist and the new frame right now. But I knew I was gonna. So even being at uni helped me meet Emmy, which is so weird because till now I'm, oh my gosh. She kind of knows me, doesn't know my name. Like, she kind of knows me, like someone like that. She's, and other managers and stuff. And it's brilliant. It's honestly great. But I had a list of names, and HFP was one of them. So when Uncle Chibuzo told me, spoke to me, we had met twice in the space of a month. We were at the Travis Green. Like I said, I'm just very big on giving. Volunteer, I'll sign up. Honestly, I was like,
let's not even forget you had volunteered for multiple things.
Yes, I was with A Step Forward. Big shout to Dennis. Oh, honestly, there's so many men in the industry, in the Christian,
Dennis is amazing.
Christian industry that are really helping and building us up. It's heartwarming, honestly. But so I actually worked with Dennis. I started working with Dennis, I think towards the end of 2020. And it was so comforting because it was a good start to the actual industry in the UK. Because their focus is the UK, which is what you were saying about, it's music in the UK. Because I think America's great, all these Africa's great, Nigeria's great, Ghana's great. But UK, there's so much more we can do, which is why we're not big, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're actually getting there. Yeah.
Steps. Yeah.
Hearing Lecrae say, it's gonna. I said finally.
Yeah.
Finally, Lecrae.
Sorry, Lecrae being like, oh yeah, all you UK artists, blah blah.
Don't worry, the next album. I said,
no, but even the Reach Records summer.
Yes. I know, still shady. 6, 7, 8, 8. We're ready.
Wow.
We're ready. Roll it up. People like that are just, it's encouraging to see. So I feel like that's why people like me get so excited. It's like, there's so much you can do. And in fact, we're catering to an audience here as well. Let's not forget, it's not like there's no Christians or anything. There's a vast majority of audience. We have the other side as well as the lo-fi, which you've got Jonathan Upton, Praise November, people like this. It's like, there's actually something here. Do not despise, please. But started with HFB, I think 2 weeks ago now, and we met at Travis Green. I was volunteering. Such a funny story. Saw his wife, and she needed, some help with the kids and stuff, and help them. But I tell you, the actual story is jollof rice. Jollof rice.
So the root of it is food.
The root of it is food.
Of course.
Just being able to give. Whatever you are, be able to give it away. And she, she just found me very interesting. She was like, oh, this is so amazing of you to do. Then we met again at Solos. And again, she was like, yeah, there's a leader on the team. And literally, that's how we
wow. That was like, so this was really like...
I know, crazy. And obviously my great friend and my boss, as I like to call him, Emmanuel, put in a good word for me as well, because he knows we worked with Called Out, I think 3-4 years ago. Also one of the first songs. So yeah, that's how we got there.
Wow. I just love that they all had a good report about you. That's what I'm saying. They had a good report.
Man, it's good. It's not easy.
Because genuinely, that whole process, like, that's what I'm saying, like, that event is very, very recent. It hasn't even been a month that it's settled. But for the fact that things can move that quickly, that you have already started working 2 years, shows that everything was smooth, because there was no like, oh, I'm a bit apprehensive, a bit like, let's wait. It was like, when God says it's time, it's time.
Facts, absolutely.
That's so beautiful. I'm so happy. So that's a measure of success, definitely. Yes, it was something you wrote down years ago, and God said, cool, let's run that. For people that want to create or be in the space that you're in, doing the kind of thing you're doing, what are some other things that they can look out for to say that these are ticks, or these are, nods towards you're going in the right direction in doing it?
I think having done a master's in music management has been helping. And it's not even just about the union. And I think it's just a season of COVID and stuff. It put a strain on the educational system. But I would say, because I knew I wanted to do something in the music industry, I really had a desire to learn, which is where my, hey, what did I do well came from. For the most part, I think most of the artists I've worked with, I literally send my little thank you for letting me work on this. And have a little feedback session. What did I do well? Please tell me, how can I? What did you enjoy most? What did you least enjoy?
Yeah.
And things like this. But it started off with volunteering, I'm not gonna lie. If you're ever gonna have to check if you're doing well, it comes from a place of willing to give your time. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie, because you're giving your time to something that might not even need anything. Nobody will even know. Because I remember when I first did the first song, and our names came up, I was so upset. I was like, why is my name on the 4th, 5th? I want it at the 2nd. Nobody cared. Nobody reached out to me. I was like, Pelumi, this is nobody. It's the artists they wanted to see, and they loved that after. But I would say if you keep wanting to measure things as to, oh yes, this is. I personally don't know how to do that, because I'm also not a tick box person. Like, it's very hard for me to be like, oh yeah, which is why when the Lord reminded me I wanted HFP. Because if not, I won't remember that. I wouldn't. But the Lord reminded me. I was like, oh, remember when you prayed about these things? You wrote it down.
Because even when you forgot about it, he didn't.
He didn't. He really didn't. Because when he came, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, amazing. And then when he reminded me, I was like, oh my gosh, I even wrote scripture next to it and things like that. Be diligent in the work of your hands, and just little things like that. But I would say if you're really that type of person that likes to, it's learning what people are saying about you as well. After Solos, I got to speak to one of the band members. Shout out to Carl, so amazing. And he said something. He was like, I took interest in him as a band member. And that for me, naturally, when I do events, is every single person that's working behind stage, that you're seeing on stage or behind stage, they have to feel just as important as people in the audience.
It's true.
Because they're delivering. And if they're delivering to other people that are watching, then they need to be okay. And for me, it just goes beyond the, make sure you have water and stuff. It's like checking in, like really checking in, making sure, hey. And it's not just because we're here to do a job and we finish. That's it. We're not doing anything together anymore. That's the end.
I'm never going to see you again.
I'm never going to see you again. Bye. Because you don't know where you're going to meet people. You just, I saw someone 4 times in a row. Solos, Travis Green, the one we just did Limo, and then a random concert. I went to Rose. I was like, what are we doing? This is not okay.
That's how I thought when we listened
to each other. And it was very interesting because, oh my gosh, yeah, you were backstage and things like that will help you see that, okay, you're not, it's not necessarily you want to get noticed, but there's the awareness of, oh, this person's actually in this space and it's nice and it's good. But if anything, I'll say ask people, oh, what have I done well? That's how you measure, because you can always say, this was fantastic.
I did good.
I'm powerful. No. what will people say?
Yeah.
Really, especially people you work with. It's left to them to actually go on to someone else and be like, hey, I think you should go for that. She'd be great at this. I think
That's good.
Do you know what
when
I mean?
you're not in the room.
When you're not in the room and they speak, it just makes so much sense. It makes
really
more
good.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, even touching on that point about event management and actually doing concerts, because, you know, the girls at SheHH, us, we love to be at an event, you know. If you follow us on Instagram at SheHH Podcast, we're always going to events, doing little roundups and everything. Like, we really do enjoy it, and we do often see you there. What skills do you think that you had to develop to really, especially that side, because obviously there's other things you do, but especially that side of your job, what skills did you have to develop to really be good at it?
So I've been a pastor's kid, and in church, you have so many events, almost every Sunday. Shout out to my mom and dad, because they never made us feel like this is our church. We're the kids of the pastors. This is our church, like literally. And I grew up in a very ridiculously loving home where they brought us in and everything. So when it came to events and stuff, knowing how to plan A to Z, it wasn't overwhelming, which was good, because I could always back up. I want to go and sleep.
I'm hungry.
They allowed us. But seeing things like that, making the plans and it come to fruition was so good. Because it taught me about people, like being a people's person. Because I think there's this thing of people want to be people's person. You want to be someone that everyone wants to be around. But the other side is you have days or you have moments where you want to be around people. You don't desire it. And being in this industry, you have to always
you do.
Because you need to always be on the ready. Especially even if you're just, you know, like we're concert heads, even when you go to a concert, you just want to enjoy. You don't want to be here, oh, Pelumi is able to... Hello. I want to relax.
This is my favourite song.
I want to enjoy. Don't talk to me. Having moments of, okay, this is when I need to work, this is when I can be myself. Things like that is so good in this industry. It will help you, because how people will relate to you as well will tell on the fact of how you react in moments. I don't think there's a necessary skill set. I think the grace of God is able to help anyone in this industry, honestly, especially if you're wanting to, because it's a given thing. It's nice that, because you're bringing someone's dream, and it's like, to make that happen, it means you have to give your time, your effort, your energy. You have to go beyond. I know for Still Shady's one, because it was supposed to be a tour, which is coming soon, but it turned out to be just a headline. And at some point, I was reaching out to random artists just to find out, hey, how was your headline? What was the most fun? Yeah.
So
the only person, funny enough, one person got back in touch with me. It's a Korean artist in London. And, you know, I was like, oh, I saw your headline. It was fantastic. It was great. Had over like 700 people, this and that, this and that. What made it? I was like, honestly, it was people in the backstage. People in the backstage are encouraging me. So in my head, I had to make sure whoever's coming backstage for Still Shady show, they have to be people that are encouraged, not even feeling the sort of way and stuff like that. Because, like I said, you can definitely do my job. You can but the grace of God.
You're like around people a lot, you know?
Like too many people.
All the time?
All the time. But it's definitely the grace of God, because it's praying for the ability. And if you don't know something, I know my courses helped me, but also just learning on the job.
Yeah.
You will learn something this time. Shout out to solos. That for next time, you know, we're not going to do this. We're not going to call out to these people. We're going to reach out to these people. You know, things like that. It helps. It's literally in the job. It's like every artist, once you perform 10 times, you perform the 11th time and something goes a bit funny. You know, for next time. Never again.
Exactly. Oh, you don't have to pivot. You don't have to be flexible.
Literally.
Yeah, you're good.
Literally.
Right.
So,
that's really good. And even just like with events, and events is a big part of like the industry, because I think there's something very life-giving about enjoying music at home and then getting to experience it live. And I don't know if this is an extroverted thing though, because a lot of the introverts are very much like, I'm happy in my house, I'm happy in the studio. But genuinely, live music is so life-giving. Like, it's beautiful. And it's not necessarily the vocals that are there or I mean, a good band. That Lua
make
concert.
or break.
That Lua concert. I almost on the stage.
Shout out to them, Dami, D4C, and CG. Powerful.
All of them.
Powerful.
The bands, that drama, the keys, everything was phenomenal. But events tend to be, you know, evenings, weekends.
Yeah.
Sis, you are, you know, actively part of your church. You're a sister. You're a friend. You're like, you have families. You have friends. You have a job. You have your masters you're doing. How are you balancing this all with something that you love to do? How are you like cost of living, girl? This London is expensive. Like, I genuinely I'm so intrigued, because you really did leave home, like you left Coventry, right?
Yeah.
You left home and was like, yeah, London's where I need to be to do this master's, to do this thing. How have you balanced all elements of your life? Give us the honest.
The honesty, oh gosh. I honestly, anytime I think of like, because I think it's a blessing, a skill, and it's a gift to be in whatever position, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, as an auntie. Those words I am an auntie.
You look so proud. I love it.
I love them so much. As a friend to artists, I really feel like when Jesus spoke about the parable of the talents, it wasn't just, this one I'll keep, this one I'll make grow. It was the balance of, look at all the 5 you've given me. I'm gonna go out. And honestly, I don't think there's balance, because if there was, I'll probably, not be just yet. Would have grown,
it should be too booked and busy for me, basically.
Basically, I'll be here, guys. I didn't mean that. Cut the cameras. I didn't mean that. I'll be here. Cut the cameras. No, in the sense of, that thing of, where you can get to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like the people in my life make me understand this is what balance is. This is understanding. And recently, I've been telling a lot of my girls, I'm so sorry. I've not had time for you. And now that I'm coming out of the place where I'm trying to get things, and I've gotten things now, especially with HFP and completing solos and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like the balance for me is now where I'm like, okay, I'm resting. Because like today, I said, I wasn't in a hurry. This is literally all I have to do today. Some work later on, but that's it, literally for today. And I know I can spend more time with my girls today, like calling them, reaching out to them, watching their stories, things like that. I don't really believe in balance. I don't know why. Because I'm like, when it's now in balance, it's on fly or forward, no, please.
But knowing when to like do things. I feel like that is an element of balance. Maybe there's an illusion that balance would be, I just wake up at 3 in the morning, I do this, do that, do this, and I go to bed at midnight and I have accomplished it all. Maybe that's not necessarily that.
Yeah.
But the element of balance is having people that are giving enough to understand that there will be times when I can't say.
Conversations help so much. So much. I know with my parents, if I call my mother now, she'll be like, when are you coming home? Every single time. I haven't seen them in so long. And every time I know I'm going to be away for that long, I send them what I'm doing. Like, by the way, event this day, traveling this day, here this day. Just because they're aware as well. Because it's not nice when you see someone doing life that you were part of. And it's like, so I'm not that important. Like, no, you're just as important. In fact, you're even more important. But right now, this is just the focus for this season. And the Bible talks about, it's still time to read. This isn't your real, it's the balance.
Yes.
Okay, Lord, it's time to rest. Nothing is coming. Okay, no problem. So, yeah.
That's a really good point. And that's a good scriptural basis to even balance on, because I think sometimes we do have this obsession with being the woman that got it all done,
one day woman. I'm sorry.
It's not me either. It's really nice. Do you have a favorite project you've worked on ever? Like, it can be a headline show, it could be like someone's PR, it could be someone's A&R, it could be managing someone. Okay, maybe not one project, you can do two or three.
I'll have to say two. I think, it's a bit of a weird one. I've been friends with, well, actually it's not a project, but one of my favorite person and one of my favorite people to work with or just do things with, which isn't a lot, is Stevie Valentine.
Yes.
We've been friends for, I think, 9 years now.
Wow.
I was at his first ever concert. And I did at some little uni in BCU, in a lecture hall. And I was just like, I like this guy. And I was literally I was like one of the few anyway.
Not you.
But literally, you know me, I'm a fan. Like, if I love you, love your music.
Yes, you are. Were you not saying hallelujah in Limo's concert?
Listen. Hey, if I love, because when I listen to music in my room, the same thing you get. I'm jumping, my flatmates say, hello, it's so much. I'm like, hey, come on. It's the same thing you get, do you know what I mean? So Stevie Valentine is one of my favorite person to ever work with and do things with. But I would say my two favorite projects is definitely Still Shady and Solos.
So Still Shady was the headline show.
Yes.
And then Solos was that huge. Sorry, big shout out to Solos, because there was 1,000
I think
human beings.
1,300 and something. Yeah.
Oh, it was more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw in the email, like, it was like, 1,000 people seated. 1,300 people in this here London. in the Clapham Grand. If you know Clapham Grand, it's a huge, iconic, historic music venue.
Yeah.
Like people put on shows there, productions. I remember walking in and being like, we're actually making history because this is a Christian event.
Literally.
What? This is a Christian event. Like, we're here to celebrate Jesus. We started and ended in prayer.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
yes.
Like, and you were a part of that. Like, that's
honestly
huge.
Such a blessing.
That's amazing.
Such a blessing. Like, the funny thing is, I jumped onto the project a bit late because initially it was supposed to still be on the Still Shady tour. So I said, no, I would be able to join from the start. So they had already reached out to the artists and done a lot of underground work before I joined. And I think I joined in about a month before. But if you know about planning things, you know, you want to be in from the start. Because, you know, they can be miscommunication or things like that. But honestly, I'm so grateful to God. I know we'll talk about it.
I mean, you can talk about it if you want to.
Talk about it now?
What do you want to say about it?
I mean, honestly, it's just one of those things where we learn to be better.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that was so dear to our hearts. And, you know, if anything, as a concert goer myself, I understood to the T. And even going outside to see, I think we had 200 and something on this side and then 100 and something on this side on the queue. And walking out for 20 minutes and not even getting to halfway.
Yeah, the roads was Clapham Junction, all of Clapham Junction.
I walked for 20 minutes, I apologized, my voice went. I said, I know you see, from people's faces, it's like when a camera pans and you see people smiling, some angry. So that's literally how I felt. I also wasn't wearing my glasses. I don't know why. So it was very hard to take in the emotional faces. I'm telling you, it was a lot. But honestly, I'm sure a lot of people that attended received the email. Yeah. It was due to something we could not control. And from inside, a little scoop, maybe some people cried even because we were trying to make sure this worked out. That's how much we desired for such a great show to happen. And it sucks because the great thing about it is we've lived and learned. Like, now we know better. We know what not to do. We know which company to go with instead and things like that. Yeah. And, you know, not to say like the finer details of it, but it was such an amazing event. And honestly,
so good.
Let me just say, to the glory of God, we received a couple of emails, some reviews and that. Shout out to Paula. Some reviews. Some reviews on Twitter and stuff like that. But in comparison to the people that reached out to us to say, now I know that Christian industry exists.
And it's here to stay.
Honestly, it's till today, and I'm not even capping because I still have access to the email. I'm still seeing emails like, thank you guys so much for having us. We want to do this. When's the next one? People are already asking, can we book it? Hello? Rest is necessary right now. Okay, please.
Wait, the next one, isn't that next year?
I replied the email and I was like, thank you so much. By the way, next year, as in a couple more months to go, and then we get replies like, oh, do we have a date?
Yeah, no, I mean, have a date now. Come on. 2 or 3 years in advance. That's amazing. Right, yeah. I get it though, because I know I was one of the people that was shouting, but I feel like mine was balanced because genuinely it was one of my favorite concerts that I've ever been. Yeah. That Called Out music set might have been the best set that's happened in my life.
And can I imagine what the tour's going to be like? Buy your tickets. Buy your tickets.
Genuinely, it was just a case of I think, there was a few like teething issues that could be ironed out, but the heart of it was very clear. Yeah. And it was a great night. And I will keep going back to this. Being in a room and looking around and seeing 1,300, you corrected me, in multiple layers, multiple tiers upwards.
All the way to the top, man.
Different styles of, it was Afrobeats mainly, but different styles of Afrobeats.
Yes.
Seeing groups, seeing pairs, seeing women, seeing men.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think that was a push to encourage loads of other people. Because the amount of other people that started being like, we've got a better coming up. We've got this coming up.
We had so many people that were so willing to collaborate with us, or even like help us, or like want us to help them. Oh, bring your team. And shout out to Step Forward for jumping in as well and helping us backstage, and so many other different crew and stuff like that. Because I think one of the things people don't realize is we always consider what needs to be said after this. Like, what do we want people to say? More than anything, we want people to have a good time, enjoy, hear the word of God, understand that Christian music can help you in whatever season you're in. Come and dance. Like, after church, now come and dance, come and enjoy. But also after that, what's the actual heart behind it? Like, what do we want it to say the next 2 years? We want people to tell their family, oh yeah, that event is happening again. Oh, the one you went, That's what we want to happen. And you know it's for the glory of God, not for us, not for artists or to just showcase. No, literally for his glory alone. So it's like, the thing of excellence is always upmost, honestly. Honestly, excellence is, we don't care how much we're spending. Excellence has to be priority. So, yeah, like, we've apologized, sorry, but watch out next year.
I'm excited. Listen, if it's anything like this year, times 2, times 12 months of improvement, it's going to be so good. I'm very excited. From the first day I met you, so we met on Limo Blaze's video shoot.
Yes.
This one time, I want to say, was that 2020?
No.
2021. Yeah, 2021, October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, mid. Yeah,
mid. Yeah. It was mid. Okay. So we met on that shoot, and I remember just being like, from the first day I met you, calling you like my partner in the game.
Yes.
And I literally always stand by this phrase, my partner in the game, my partner in the game. And that's because, like, myself, we at SheHH, we have a passion for this industry. We have a passion for Christian music of all genres, just letting people know that you can get the gospel through music. And that you can also reach out to your unbelieving friends through music as well. And that's something that you share a passion in, and that love just emanates from you. And it's so beautiful to see. And it's always been encouraging. I just want you, like, even as we round up and get to the end of this, which I don't want to end because she's great, but even as we do round up, I would love for you to share any advice that you've received or that you can give to those women that, they're like, okay, cool, I'm not going to be the artist, but I might be, the production manager, I might be the event coordinator, or the hair and makeup, the audio engineers, or the one that's doing the stuff in the studio. Like, I might not be the artist myself, I might not be singing or rapping myself. How can I break through into these spaces, these behind the scenes spaces that actually make things happen? It's a big one, I know.
Yeah, such an interesting question. And the great thing that comes of this is I get randomly to meet people. After Lino's concert, I got to go to a restaurant with Junior Gar, Corda, and Becca, two other ladies there, and I was with Emmanuel. And it was so interesting because I told one of them what I do, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get into that. And I don't know if you get it a lot, but
I mean, I'm not you.
No, but so people that are like, oh wow, you do what I want to.
Yeah, to be fair,
especially when it's a niche, because it's such
a niche.
It's like,
because you think there's no opportunities there, and then you're like, no, I've been booked.
Literally. So I deep it something. I'm like, so people do realize this is what. Okay, fantastic. They know. But I would say when people ask me, especially, I want to get into that. I think the heart of it is literally, as you said, it's where your heart is. Because I stopped focusing on just being an artist manager and focused on what other roles can I fill? And this is literally what I told a step forward. And then it's the first time I joined, I was like, what needs filling? Where do I need to put my hands in?
I'm ready.
I think places like that are so good. They encourage so much growth in like just the small things that we want to do back in the background. Because the background work makes whatever's coming forward beautiful. Bear in mind. And a lot of artists will tell you this as well, especially women artists. They'll tell you it's nice to be included because we know our job. We know it's not easy as a woman. It's not easy as a Black woman even. No, let's not start. But it's encouraging to know that we're actually there. And I think that's why I always start with. It's like being present is definitely going to take you far, because people being aware of someone. They don't have to necessarily know every fine details of what you do or what you can do, but it's just fantastic, honestly. Presence goes a long way in this industry. I would honestly say being accountable as well, because you can lose it. It's very easy to lose it, because as much as we have such great men, great people, encouraging women like you and me, we have the other side where it's like they don't want to hear what you say. They don't care.
You're still talking? Wow.
They don't care. You will even be you're saying the same things, but because a man.
Yeah.
And as a woman, I think in the industry, you tend to read a lot into things. And it's the grace of God that teaches, like, it's not about you, Pelumi. It's not about you, baby. Now calm down. They are not trying to hurt you. Or they're not trying to, and it's how the world works. And sometimes even at work, that's how people react. Yeah. So it's like, it's fine. It's not like, even if it is, I'm not going to make that.
Being level-headed.
Literally level-headed. And just accepting that, you will make errors a lot, but you will learn. You have no choice, but you don't want to make it again, because you don't want to actually, not do something well. So you will learn, what have I did it well, okay, I'm going to take it on and even improve it. And I keep emphasizing on, I emphasize on accountability just because it helps you understand, okay, how can I grow this if this isn't coming to pass? Like, how can I make this happen? Because there'll be so many times where it's just not working. Things are not working out, man. And you see other people doing things, but just understanding, okay, it's not the season, it's not the time. And having people talk wisdom to you, knowledge, having people understand that, hey, it's seasonal. Not the ones that are like, yeah, but try again. It's like, hello, I'm trying. Don't push it.
Have you tried hard enough?
I'm trying. Don't do that, But yeah, I think those type of things would really help. Women in the industry, I don't think there's segregation because my God loves me. In fact, if I tell you how much he loves me, we'll be here till tomorrow, Fun fact, my name means God is with me.
Wow.
Pelumi means God is with me, and I always stand by that. And I'm like, if people want to see just a woman, that's fine. My God is present. He's aware, So yeah.
That's so nice. No, I love it. I love it so much. And that's very encouraging, I think, especially for women that are wanting to see themselves potentially like, oh, this is me in a year, this is me in 2 years, this is me in the future. And you're giving them opportunities or even showing them where you can get to. And also that's not overnight because you've been doing this. But you've been passionately doing it, diligently doing it. You volunteered, you spent time, you spent effort, you paid your own money to go to concerts. Like, just the diligence, I think, is really beautiful and it's just a real testimony. So thank you for sharing your story, for chatting to me.
Thank you for having me.
We can keep going.
We could.
But we're going to rein it in.
We're not going to do that. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are rocking it. And I always look forward to like the artists I don't know. So I'm like, SheHH is showing me that. So
thank you.
You guys,
you're always like posting, listening to this. I'm like, at least one person's listening.
Do you know what? Sometimes I even forget to. Because sometimes I'll randomly just want to listen to one of the ones I've listened to that I didn't finish or things like that. So. And the fact that the videos are on Spotify, guys, you can watch. Do you know how crazy good that is? That is another level. Thank you.
No, you're looking into the camera.
Another level. Because that's skill. And this is what we're talking about, literally, like growth. We love to see it. Honestly,
thank God.
You guys are doing well.
Thank you for the encouragement. You've always been supportive of me, of the team, so we're very grateful for you. And we're always going to be your biggest fans, pushing what you're doing. So, keep letting us know and we'll be there. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating wherever you're listening to this and to follow us on Instagram at SheHH Podcast.